What's going on, good people, man? This your boy Byron with your boy Cordero checking in, man. I think Cordero ain't got fresh cut on me, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to tighten up, man. Cordero, you got to,
This is
all
still
up.
this that 2 week old. This is that 1 week old cut at least.
Hey, the Tennessee barbers don't be playing, man. The Tennessee barbers, man, fresh it up.
So I got two barbers. I got my guy. Shout out to see it, and then I got my second barber, which is me.
Set
I
it
go.
back up. No.
I just go straight all even.
No, man. I think that's my problem. I'm my number one barber. That's my problem.
I'm my number one barber too, man. That's why I be like, man. After I get a cut, I'm like, Byron, we gotta go live so I can. You feel me? At least for the first couple of days.
Man, I stay off live when I thought the first couple of days I cut my hair. let it blow over, man.
Hey, real talk. Boy. When I cut my own hair, nah, man. I ain't getting no compliments.
Yeah, man. But anyway, so Monday, man. It's Monday, second best day of the week. Man, we got 5 days to grind. You know what I'm saying? Everybody at play. Everybody open 5 days out of the week. Everybody open. Everybody at play. So, but the first day of the week, I'm always thinking about, man, getting back at it. You know what I'm saying? Wake up, listen to my read my Bible, listen to my gospel music, then listen to my Eric Thomas. You know what I'm saying? It's great motivation. That's one thing like that I talk about. It's like mixing the knowledge with the motivation. Like you got to mix both of them. You know what I'm saying? Because you get that knowledge, you get that knowledge, you get that knowledge. But it's some stuff that I'm gonna tell you, some stuff that Cordero gonna tell you that you're gonna be like, I don't know if I can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You like, I don't know if I got the guts to do it. I don't know if I got the guts to get on the phone with that. So I don't know if I got the guts to pay, for that service. You know what I'm saying? But that motivation that Eric Thomas gonna send you on over that edge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's the
man.
mindset of being an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying, that I really, try to feed myself. It's like, what are you throwing into your brain? You know what I'm saying? That motivational Monday. Let's throw the right stuff into our brain. Let's talk about the right stuff to get us kicked off.
Yeah, man. Real talk. Mindset Mondays, motivational Mondays. And we talk about this a lot, but what you got to think about it like this. It's like I don't even like the car analogy, but people use it like the car. Like if you got to put the right fuel in your car for your car to do its thing. But it's just like the reason why I don't like that is because what's the likelihood that if you putting 87 or you putting 93, you putting premium in there, what's the likelihood you're gonna accidentally put 87 in it? Like people don't do that often.
Yeah.
But in your personal life, it's like, what's the likelihood that instead of waking up and saying, let me read the Bible first, let me get some ET, some Eric Thomas in me, I'm gonna put on some 21 Savage. And you know what I'm saying? This ain't no knock to 21 and nothing like that, but it's just like, what's the likelihood that I'm just gonna hop on Facebook and kind of go down my feed and just see what that has to offer instead of controlling what I put into my mind? Instead of like being intentional about, I'm gonna plant some good seeds in my brain so that way, as the day goes on, as the week goes on, as new challenges come up, as new ideas come up my head, I have the courage to implement them because I'm not just thinking about the funny memes that I was watching. I'm thinking about like I'm fueled up with the courage and the might to say, you know what, you owe you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Or whatever it is, whoever, and that's the thing. If you don't like Eric Thomas, maybe you're what's that guy's name? David Goggins. Maybe you like David Goggins, or maybe you're Eric Thomas, or whoever it is. But motivation, you get your motivation. Tony Robbins. Oh, or
Tony Robbins be going in, man.
I rock with Tony Robbins, man.
Me too, dude. Tony Robbins be going in.
For me personally, I'm gonna listen to I like Grant Cardone.
Grant Cardone, we going in too.
I just like that, you know what I mean? Just like, and I don't even think he meant that to be a motivational book. It's just like, it's just got a lot of it's got a lot of the right fuel that you would need to implement, or to do what you got to do throughout the day. But what I'm saying is, don't wait till the challenge come up. You need to put that in your brain ahead of time, so that way when the challenge do come up, your natural thought is like, let me pull back into my brain to figure out what I got. What do I have um, to get me through this? And if it's just a bunch of trash, it's not gonna work, dog. That's like you can't wait until you thirsty to try to drink a gallon of water. You need to be properly hydrated consistently throughout the day. And you don't want to just go like, all right, I'm about to go work out. Let me drink a whole lot of water and then go hit this workout. You're gonna get a stomach ache. And you really go, you know what I'm saying? That water might not stay down. It's like you need to be hydrated before that. And I would say like the knowledge and the education about what you need to be doing is like the food, but the motivation is like the fuel, is like the water, it's like the hydration. And hydration is equally as important as what you eat as far as like your overall physical performance. And the motivation is equally important as what you know how to do, because the motivation is what's going to get you to actually implement what you're going to do, what you learn. What's up, Cass?
Got Cass coming through, man. Shout out to the OGs. Ali coming through. What's up, man? The
Speaking,
OGs gonna come through for sure.
speaking of, got me thirsty just talking. I was just talking with the VA. But yeah, man, I'm big on that. So Byron, let me ask you this. What are some okay, let's take a step back, because I'm always honestly fascinated by how you went from delivery driver, delivering pizzas, and staying in the apartment, or wherever you was at, like not just what you do now on a daily basis, because you got a lot of momentum going, but like how did you start? Because it's like to keep a fire going, you just throw the wood in there, but to get a fire to start from scratch by rubbing two sticks together, that's a little bit harder. So what was your motivation, or what was you feeding yourself like, man, I gotta have this to get it going from scratch?
Well, shoot, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I always thought that it was something bigger. I always thought that, like, I always say I saw like where my parents was at to where they got us. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brothers, and it was like, shoot, if they took us from here to here,
Yeah,
it's like, where am I gonna take the next group? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's like, you know what I'm saying? They took us from here, and I became this. It's like, how far am I going to be able to push it for my kids? You know what I'm saying? It's like, am I really pushing it far enough that if I sacrifice as much as they sacrifice? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? It's like to be able to push that thing that much further was big for me. Like that, like before I even had kids, before any of that stuff ever came around, I knew that it was like, I know I want to push these next jokers a lot further, because I just seen like, dang, look what was sacrificed. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like my mom and daddy could have went on and just lived their life and done whatever they wanted to do and just been like regular people, you know what I'm saying, that wouldn't like, checking you every single time you stepped out of line. You know what I'm saying? They could have been lazy and not done this, not done that. Nah,
yeah,
they was on it every time. They sacrificed what they really wanted to do in
yeah,
order to be who they needed to be. So it's like, what am I really sacrificing? Like, I'm just living like a regular life. I'm just chilling. I'm gonna work my 30 years as a teacher and just be safe and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah,
ain't sacrificing nothing. Like, what am I really giving up? What am I really taking a chance on? You know what I'm saying? And that was my big thing. It's like I wanted to not just, you know, you hear about this in a couple of books, and you hear people saying it's like, don't just be living just to live, just to survive. It's like some people live just to breathe. They satisfied. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Just to exist. This dude at my job used to call the kids like in class mouth breathers. They just say just breathing. It's like they ain't doing nothing else, man. They got nothing else to contribute. They just breathing. You know what I'm saying?
Here. And
Mouth
it's
wide
scary.
open.
A lot of people really, really live like that. You know what I mean? It's just like they just wake up day by day. That Wi-Fi being around the corner now. Yeah.
Franco,
Uh,
Franco G2 though.
um, but a big part of this, like, what you're saying is like where you gonna push it is also in all of that that required you to believe it was possible.
Yeah,
Like you didn't doubt like the fact that you could actually take it anywhere. That wasn't even the question. Like, can I do this or not? It's just like, what am I doing? I need to do this. Like, this is
yeah,
what I need to do.
yeah,
Like, how
yeah.
far we come, and like, where am I going to take it? It wasn't can I take it somewhere. It was where I'm going to take it.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
how far I'm gonna push this thing. Frank say any advice on finding that why 5 p.m. around the corner and I'm dead. Dude, man. I mean, sometimes it just has to come to you. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
sometimes it's like, I think a lot of times people underestimate this. I think Eric Thomas talk about this too. Some other people talk about this. Like giving yourself time to think. You know what I'm saying? Like that was
yeah,
one thing when I woke up
yes,
in the morning that was like, sure, I didn't like when I before I exercised and all that stuff, I would like my phone was off and I would just walk
yeah,
outside. It's quiet. There's nobody around.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just walking and just listening to the earth, looking in the sky. The moon's still up there. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? It's like I'm just chilling. I'm just letting my brain just be free. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Give
And
yourself that. I
you
would
think about
schedule in time to free think.
yeah, give yourself time to think, man, and you just start thinking about what you want to do. You start thinking about where you want to be, what you really want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think that's where a lot of the why come from. It's like, what do you really want to do? Where do you really want to be? And sometimes, like I said, sometimes that's why feeding your brain the right stuff, listening to the right stuff, reminds you of what you want to do, where
yeah,
you want to be. You know what I'm saying? You have to remind yourself constantly. You know what I'm saying? I have to remind myself constantly what I'm supposed to be doing the next minute. You
yeah,
know, you got to remind yourself constantly of where you want to be, what you want to do, what kind of person you want to be. You have to keep feeding that to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, all the other crap that's coming through your ears and going past your face is gonna catch your attention. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I think
Exactly.
that's a big thing.
And that goes back to why I was saying, man, Frank, is like you gotta be you gotta be intentional on so I'll say this. That's just the one thing I'll say is you gotta be intentional on doing it though. It's just
Yeah.
like a lot of people is just like maybe they haven't found out why is because it's just like and I don't mean to sit down and like, man, let me just sit here and think about my why. Because a lot of times when you do that free think, it's not about thinking about anything, it's just giving your brain like, let me just go with the flow. Because then when I meditate, it's actually the opposite of that. It's like I'm telling my brain what not to think about. I don't want to think about anything when you do that. But what I'm saying is like being intentional is like put yourself in a position where the what you're consuming would breed that positive direction as far as figuring out your why. And I think why kind of is like on the lines of purpose. It's not purpose because it's not like your why is why you would need to continue to move toward your purpose. But finding your purpose kind of has a lot to do with um, what I would say is like find a problem that you really feel like can be addressed or I guess in some cases like Byron's cases like nobody had ever done this in his family. And I kind of similarly had that similar problems like in my family, in my community, nobody had ever like we had a lot of rappers, we got a lot of athletes, we got drug dealers, we got ball players, we got entertainers, we got um you know people who do these certain things, or you just work at a factory, you're a mouth breather, not to knock to anybody, but it's just like you know some folks in that arena who just like they just like that's all that they it's just like oh, if you were meant for more, if you're meant for more, then don't be doing less. That's all I'm gonna say. So like don't be doing less than what you meant for just because you complacent. It's cool to
Yeah.
be at peace with what you have, but don't be doing less than what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
But
my biggest thing is like people who say they want more, but
and
then
then don't
they won't
and
put it in that. They won't do what it take to get there.
yeah, but it's just like if you find a problem that you really feel like, man, it's like, okay, for example, I was reading this book about Michael Gerber talking about how to awaken that entrepreneur. And he talks about inventors or entrepreneurs are just inventors of businesses. And what he realizes is a lot of people look at the picture and say, okay, this is the picture. This is what it is. The inventor looks at it and says, this is the picture. What's missing? What's missing from the picture? And that resonated with me because that's what you're looking for when you find your why, or not necessarily your why, but that's what you're looking for when you find your purpose, right? Is when you're trying to figure out, what do I need to be doing? You need to be doing something that's not done. You need to be doing something whether it's not done in your family, in your lineage, or in your culture, or your community, or just in mankind, period. Like Elon Musk, his purpose is he's doing something that nobody's ever done. He's trying to figure out how to do commercial interplanetary travel. And that's big. It's like, that's kind of almost out of our realm of understanding. But that's the same thing a plane was before there was planes. And it's just like, when you go to figure out the purpose, it's like, it's trying to look for what's missing from the picture. And so your why can be like, okay, if I do this, then what do I get out of it? Or what do I create, or what do I accomplish? So you connect, kind of the same way you connect time, a seller's timeline, to their motivation, is you would connect your why to your purpose. And if you figure out what your purpose is, or what you're trying to do, or what you would like to do, or what problem you would like to solve, or what's missing from the overall picture that you see that needs to be there, and you say, I'm going to be the one to do it, then you can really figure out your why from there, because it's like, well, what'll happen if I don't? And what will happen if I do this? What do I gain?
That was another thing I thought about. It's like, dude, if I don't do this, who the heck gonna do it? You know
Big.
what
That's
I'm saying?
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, if I don't do it, who the heck gonna do it? And if I don't do it, my kids gonna be looking around like, man, I need to do this. And I don't want them to be looking around thinking, man, I got a big thing that I need to do because my daddy didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? His parents didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's,
Exactly.
nah, I don't want that. Like I'm finna try. I want to cover. I'm covering everything. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You look and you saw what was missing, and your family, there was no, I'm assuming there's no millionaires, there was no entrepreneurs, no business people. And it was in your family, that was what was missing, was Byron. And then your why was just like, well, if I don't do this, then my kids are gonna have to figure it out. It's like, if I do this, then they don't have to figure it out, and they can take it to the next level past me. Now you done took it to the next level. Now what level are they gonna take it to? Should they choose? So, but yeah.
So Ali said, can you lock up multifamily property, multifamily unit with the regular contract? Yeah, you can, man. Shoot, I done locked one up. I didn't close it, but I locked it up. That was when I first started out, man. It was an 8 unit. Man, I wish I could have bought that mug. If I was in my position now, I would have definitely bought it. I would have definitely bought it. But
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, man, yeah, you can lock it up.
You got to think, it's just like, that's why a lot of times with that contract, it has the par sale number, because it's saying what it includes that all this
property,
yeah, like one property.
What happens when we got Thad? He retired from live. Thad be busy, man. You know, Thad be busy, man. You know, he be doing this thing. But shoot, he'll
Hey,
pop back up.
I'm kind of looking like a knockoff Thad, man.
You are stupid, man. You are.
Thad back on here real quick. I do want to see what he's talking about.
Yeah, Thad be doing his thing, man.
What
We got
happened
to have him jump back on so he can share some of his secrets.
Yeah.
What would happen if I don't? That's the gym. Yeah, no doubt, man. What happened if you don't?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What happened if you don't?
Yeah.
And shoot, I was reading what's so buddy Ed Milet, The Power of One More. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shoot, what if you don't have another chance? You know what I'm saying? What if this is it? You know what I'm saying? The power of one more is like, what if you don't have another one?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What if you don't have another day? What if this is the last day you can get started? What if you ain't gonna have another opportunity? You know what I'm saying? It's like the power of one more and the power of not having one more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big. And Frank, to that point, it's like, that's why I was saying, it's just like, you say, what happens if you don't? And that's your why. But if you don't, what? It's like, that's why I say, look, I think it's hard to find purpose in life. I think everybody's trying to look for my purpose in life. And I don't, but if you look for look at the picture, whether it's your life, whether it's your family, whether it's your community, whether it's just the world in general, and look for what's missing. And you say, I can do that. I'm what's missing. Essentially, I have to go create that, whether creating the light bulb, the electric car, whatever. Um, and then when you say, what would happen if I don't? That's when you get your why. That's a good place to start at, because I think also too, and correct me if I'm wrong, Byron, as time goes on, your why, it could change, but maybe not change. It
Yeah,
could grow. It could
yeah,
be more.
evolve into more and more.
You know what I mean?
And
So
then
I
you
think
want
that's
to,
the place
you
to
want
start.
more impact, bigger impact. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Now, like I'm still thinking about what I think about, but I also think about like, okay, what about the next person who got the same gap? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Who got the same problem? You know, who facing the same challenges? Who could do the same thing, but you know, it ain't even crossing their mind. Like it ain't even crossing their face. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's
That's
like,
I've seen it happen too many times, especially, and not to segregate in my community, in like the in my community, there's a lot of untapped potential. I met people who I'm like, man, in any other context, you would be a genius. You might be a shoe in for an Ivy League college or something like that. But because the community that you was born into, the resources that you had around you, it's just like you don't think it's even possible.
yeah,
You
you
don't
don't
even
even think
realize.
that. Yeah, you don't even think that way.
You don't even think that way, but you got everything that will
All
require
the
a person to be great. But
yeah,
you're not
all the
using it. It's just like you a monkey in the ocean or a fish on a tree. It's like what Albert Einstein said: if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree and a monkey by its ability to swim, then you would think that they're both just unintelligent life forms. I don't think that's how he worded it verbatim, but he was just like you would think they're both dumb or something like that. And I just know that in my community, it's just like it's a lot of people who I can't tell you how many times I'm like, bro, like, dude is a genius. Or that
yeah,
girl could be like, she could be the next such and such, but she's thinking so narrowly focused. And I just like, I want to be able to, for me, a big why was like, if I can do this for myself, then I can go back and show other people like, you can do this too. And in my community, it's like, bro, you probably need to do this. It'd probably be a
yeah,
whole lot better than this than whatever else you was gonna do.
yeah, yeah. Man, I see a lot of people that I'm like, dude, this person better than me, that person better than me, that person. I know if I can do this joke can do it, that joke can do it, that joke can do it, that joke can do it. I
Yeah,
know they can do it. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt in my mind that they would crush this. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, I think about that all the time. But the mindset to even go do that, to take it to that level is not even really there. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? It's like you don't even think about that level, but I think about it even myself, just trying to make sure that I don't like put a ceiling over my own head. You know what I'm saying? So why I'm thinking I can't go beyond this, or I can't go beyond that. You do that to yourself a lot. Um, when I first started wholesaling, I never thought I could make $100,000 in a year. It's like, man, ain't no way you make $100,000 in a year. You know what I'm saying? And then once I got there and did it, I was like, oh dang. Then I heard Keith Everett talking, man, ain't no way you can make $100,000 in a month. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, oh dang, I did that. Ain't no way you can make $100,000 in a week. It's like, boom. There we go. Ain't no way you can do $100,000 deal. Boom. It's like, I'm telling you, dude, you don't think stuff can happen, but
yeah.
you just gotta know, you gotta believe, you gotta psych yourself out to think that, man, I could do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's crazy too. Cause I just heard somebody talking about that and I forgot who it was, but they was talking about, I was like, you gotta psych yourself out. You gotta almost be delusional with what you think is possible, because just naturally what we're trained to do is to I've heard this saying before. Your what is it? Your experience is your reality, or your perspective is your reality, or something like that.
Yeah,
But
something
in
like
reality, that's not true. Just because I haven't made $1 million in a week before ever. but that doesn't mean it's not possible. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that doesn't happen. That doesn't mean that that's not reality. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to really think outside of what you've experienced. You got to think outside of your perception that you've had thus far. And the challenge is to be able to dream outside of your realm of possibility that you've experienced thus far and say, well, I ain't never done this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I've never done this because, and that goes into thinking about purpose. Because if you're looking at the picture and thinking, well, what's missing from the picture, then maybe nobody has ever experienced that. It's like, ain't nobody ever experienced what Elon Musk is trying to accomplish. Matter of fact, nobody ever experienced what Ray Kroc was trying to accomplish until he did it. And so it's just like, you got to be able to think forward. I think as an entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur, that's going to be one of the many hats that you got to wear, is to be the dreamer or the visionary outside of your own, experiences. Because what you've experienced thus far is not an indication of what needs to get done. As a matter of fact, you're going to have to outthink what you've experienced, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You got to think beyond where you are. So, like, and getting to this wholesaling thing, it's like, what takes you from being like a regular joker, like your mindset of a regular joker? What's the difference between, that getting started mindset? It's like, what is that mindset that gets you started wholesaling?
The mindset that gets you started versus what I feel like separates you and takes you is, or I guess I see what you're saying, but it's like, one, get rid of doubt. You got to believe it's possible. That's the number one thing. Yeah. It's like, I think a lot of people would just like, you'll see it. I think people is like learning about wholesaling on TikTok nowadays. I don't know. It's just like, you like, is this real? Is it really possible? First thing, get rid of doubt. Like, get rid of the concept. It's like, if you don't believe it's possible, then how will you ever stand up against the real objections that you're going to have to stand up against? If you just like, as soon as it gets tough, you're going to be like, man, I'm out of here. This ain't even real anyway. And it's hard. It's like, so it's going, you know what I mean? I think that's the biggest thing. But then two, it's just like, I want to say, maybe not in this order. This isn't the second most important. The most important thing is get rid of doubt. This isn't the second most important thing, but it's another thing to think about, is where we talk about you don't got to know it all. Each individual step. And I think that's one of my favorite mindsets, because that's what you're going to tap into when you go from, okay, I'm just learning about wholesaling, to I got my first deal in my hands. I got my first opportunity for a deal, but I'm kind of scared to actually go through with it because I ain't never done this before. I've never put somebody under contract. I'm kind of nervous. What if I put them under contract? What if they sue me? What if I go to the title company and what if they say it? What if the buyer ends up backing out? What if blah, 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 blah. It's like, dog, you're going to have all of them what ifs, but you got to do it anyway.
Yeah, man.
And having that, I think that mindset is one of my favorite ones to talk about, because that's the one you're going to tap into. That's the one you're going to be locked in close with when you're really on the cusp of getting that first deal. You're going to be right there step by step. You remember how you talk about, and I was there too, when you talk about, like, I didn't know how to fill out a contract. I got a seller who was interested, and then I went to go YouTube how to fill out contract, and I'm watching the video step by step. Right? Put that right there. And then it's just like, dang, then how do you get I found the buyer. Now how do I put the buyer? How do I put the buyer under contract?
Exactly. Watch the video, watch YouTube video.
That mindset, to where I don't have to have it all figured out. I'm just going to go anyway. I'm just going to figure it out as I go. That mindset is one of my favorite ones to talk about. And I think that's the one that distinguishes you from, okay, I'm just watching videos, to I'm really going to do this.
Yeah, I'm going to take action. I'm going to take action without knowing the whole deal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think that's the thing with everything that you do. It's like, I want about multifamily, like big multifamily. I don't know exactly how to do it, but it's like, I just need to take action. I just need to start going. Once I start going, it's like, I keep taking steps. is going to work it out. It's going to work it out. I'm going to figure out the next step. I'm going to figure out the next step. I'm going to figure out the next step. I'm going to figure out all the steps. If I just start, boom, take action, boom, take action, boom, take action, right? That's
Yeah.
what it's all about, man. Getting the ball rolling. That's it.
Yeah. That's my favorite mindset to talk about when you talking about what distinguishes the guy who's just thinking about doing it to the guy who said, to heck with it. I'm just gonna do it. And that mindset, you can get into that place from a number of different, whether you just very fired up and motivated and you figured out a way to tap into the confidence of, man, I'm gonna figure it out as I go. I can do this. I'm confident in myself. Or you got there out of a place out of desperation. And you like, man, my back up against the wall. I ain't got no choice to be worried about how to figure out the contract. I just gotta do it. You know what I mean? It's like, however you get there, you need to get in touch and in tune with that concept of, I ain't got to have it all figured out. I'm going to figure it out as I go. And I'm confident. That's what confidence is. Confidence isn't, I know what I'm going to do. I know how this is going to go word bar for bar. It's, I'm confident that whatever comes up, I will figure it out as I go. That's like getting into a fight. It's like, you're not going to know each punch he going to throw at, he gonna throw the left hook. Nah, it's gonna come at you. But you get into that fight, like whatever he throw, I'm gonna duck. I'm gonna get out the way of it. There's this one Robert Downey Jr. Movie, Sherlock Holmes. And one thing I like about it, but I thought it was super crazy, is like every time he get into a fight, he do this thing where he'd be like, okay, he's gonna throw the right jab, and then I'm gonna duck it, and then I'm gonna punch him here. And he got the slow-mo, and then it'll happen. Like the next scene is like the fast version of it. And I'm like, bro, that doesn't happen. That don't happen. That's like knowing, like, all right, okay, I'm gonna get this person on the contract. I'm gonna give him the contract. His wife gonna call me one day before closing and say, hey, I want to go to 215. It's like, I didn't know that was gonna happen, but you confident that you're gonna figure it out. So that's my tap into that mindset. If you watching this, you like, bro, I ain't done a deal, and I'm ready to get off the sidelines and get off into the game. Tap into that mindset. I don't gotta have it. I don't know. What happens if this happens? Figure it out as you go. Hit us up. I remember, that's one thing I appreciate you. The fact that you did these lives. I'd be on them lives like, bro, I got a deal right now. I'm gonna wait because I know he's gonna go on live later on the day, and I'm just gonna ask him what I do. I'm like, hey, what do you do if this happened? He'd be like, well, this, and this, and this. You know what I mean? It's just like, we're on live. We'll answer literally any question that you throw on here. Or join the Discord or whatever. But
yeah, join the Discord, man. Join the Discord, y'all. I think I got to drop the link for the Discord, but man, join the Discord, man. Go check us out. I'm gonna drop that link in here at some point, but yeah, man. I mean, shoot, that's what it's all about, man. You just gotta take some action, man. Like, dude, you take some action, you'd be surprised because most people, like, what is it, King Kong? He said, man, most people ain't gonna do nothing. Like, dude, most people ain't gonna do nothing. They're just not gonna do anything. It's like most people gonna sit and watch, sit and watch, sit and watch. Most people ain't gonna do nothing. That's why they don't get what they trying to get. It's like the only difference between you and the person who at where you want to be is that they actually did something.
that is the only.
You. It's not because of this, that, and the third.
And if you are putting in the work, and you're like, man, I'm putting in the work, why he got more? The only difference at that point is just time. He just been putting in the work longer than you. So it, if he's 3 months ahead and he been cold calling every day, he might got 2 deals and you only got 1. Whatever. It's just at that point. But regardless, the only difference, like he said, is putting in that action. And that's one of my favorite sayings, because we used to say that. I remember when I was working with my other partners, because we had this one day, he was just like, we need to protect this. We can't tell them our secrets. I'm like, I could bring them in and let them shadow me over my shoulder. They ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
Everything that I do. And that's why I was never scared. I'll give you my operations manual to my business, all of that. They just not going to do it.
Yeah, truly A1 over here on IG said, shout out to the people watching on IG. He said, change the game for me. Action gonna get you there for sure. Yeah, action gonna get you there, man. He said King Kong gave him that confidence. Hey, King Kong is legit, dude. I used to wake up early in the morning to listen to his cold call role play in the morning, man. So, but yeah, man. I mean, taking that action, man, is big. You know, just taking that first step. You take that first step, then you go take another step. Then you go to take another step. Then you go take another step. It's like just getting going, man. Like that's the biggest thing. But deciding that is big. Frank said he didn't know about the Discord. That's what's up. Yeah, man, jump on in there, man. Come check us out. But but yeah, man, that's why I say the mindset is so big because for most people, it ain't about if you could do this. It's about do I have the mindset to even take the first step? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Do
Are
I have
you?
the mindset to take that first action?
It's not if, it's like, are you? And that's
Yeah.
all it is. It's like you need to start with like, am I going to actually start get the dialer? Am I obviously going to pull the list or skip trace the leads, call them? Am I actually going to like follow up? Am I actually going to take the time to call these people and deal with the rejection? Because if it was easy, dog, first of all, it wouldn't be a high paying skill set
Yeah.
if it were easy. And two, if it were easy, everybody would do it. Just like how many people you think work for McDonald's? It's like I was watching the McDonald's documentary, and not only has their business grown, and they talked about how much money they made and how many people they served. They was talking about how many people they employed, and it was like 30% of the U.S. population, or some crazy number of the population, had a job working for McDonald's at some point. And it's just like that's an easy because, but what percentage of the population is rock star wholesalers or rock star real estate investors or
Yeah.
even just like crushing it real estate agents? It's just
Or
like
done any deal in wholesaling. I mean, in real estate. Period.
it's done a deal. You know what I mean? What percent? It's like, so it's just like, it's not, can I do it? Am I going to do it? And you just need to really look at yourself and get in tune with that. And just, and notice it's not, is it possible? We certainly don't even ask that question. Don't even ask that question. Yeah. Yeah, if it were easy, it would not be, it wouldn't be a high paying skill set. And essentially that's another thing too, is just like, you know what? I think that's the kind of getting started. Here's an abstract mindset thing I don't think a lot of people talk about. That once I made this shift, it was really big for me, was not how much money can I make or how much money can I make on this deal, was like, what problems am I solving?
Yeah.
And I hear people talk about that, but it took me, I ain't gonna lie, man, it took me a long time to really tap into that realistically and
Yeah.
talk about it. And so this will come into play when you actually are talking to sellers, is like, stop looking for like, oh, this is gonna be the deal, or is it gonna be the deal, or the numbers working. Really look for a problem that they have that you can solve.
Yeah.
And you might have heard that before, but I'm telling you, it's not just like that. It's just in general. You got to think about, I think what it does was the shift for me was starting to look like, what problems do I have that other companies solve for me? Like, what problem does the grocery store solve for me? Or what problem does, um, my, cell phone company solve for me, or whatever? It's like thinking about it like that. And then you really can tap into that mindset. And I think that'll take you a long way.
I think at the very beginning, like my one of my biggest things was process. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, what's the process of wholesaling and what's going to be my process? And I'm going to follow that process every time, follow the process every time. Like I'm following a process, right? And like I remember just doing that. And I'm just thinking, man, it doesn't matter if it's a 1K deal or a 50K deal, it's the same process. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just following the process. You know, I'm following the process, man. And in the process, you'll see, oh dang, I'm helping these people because they having this problem, that problem. You know what I'm saying? And you realize, like, dang, I'm really helping people figure out their problems. Um, and shoot, because people need people need wholesalers, people need cash offers. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
to give them a good, competitive cash offer, that is a valuable thing.
Yeah. People need buyers. And if you have the buyers, It's like the average Joe Smo who is dealing with pre-probate is like, man, I don't know. He don't got like a network of buyers he can just go to and be like, hey, who can give me the best deal and solve this problem for me? It's like that's not about to just happen like that. So you having that and creating a system around having that and getting that over to people is a valuable skill set, and that's a part of it. It's not just talking to sellers. It's not just having the buyers. It's being able to put it all together. Is really, and you get that over time. It's like, but being able to put it all together in a fluid way is really where you kind of like start to catch that second win. Which is what I wanted to ask you. Is like, there's a mindset that helps you get started. But once you get started and you do a deal and you do your second deal, maybe your third deal, what is the mindset shift? And I think we was talking about this last night, but what's the mindset shift that helps you go from, oh, I did a deal and I'm doing it, but how do you get to where you cranking that thing out? It's a full-blown machine. What's the
Yeah.
mindset shift there?
So Keaton said what we speaking on, man. We talking about motivational Monday, the mindset to get started, the mindset to keep going. So to take the thing to the next level, like, my mindset was like build a business, you know what I'm saying? Create processes, build a business. That's what it was all about. Like, let's build a business, put people in their seats, give people assignments, and build a business. Like, that was a big thing for me. And then just thinking big, right? The 10X, you know what I'm saying? That's just thinking big. I read a book, The Magic of Thinking Big, the 10X rule. So just the magic of thinking big, right? It's the mindset. First, creating processes, creating a business, but two, just thinking big, like going bigger, right? Like Grant Cardone talking about, like it's harder to be a small business. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to go big. It's like Grant Cardone's like, he ain't talking about go big, go home. He's talking about go big or go bigger. Right?
Mhm.
Go big or go bigger.
Yeah.
So like
Speaking of,
that's the mindset that really took me up. I was thinking about, dang, what did I really do? I blew up. Mindset. You know what I'm saying? My mindset blew up where it was like the expectations was way more. You know what I'm saying? It's like now the expectation is way more. I'm expecting to do way more. So like
yeah,
that's the big thing now.
yeah, and that what that tells me is that you didn't have to think so big to get started.
Yeah.
Um, because I know Grant Cardone talks about that, whether it might have been the 10X rule or the 10X mentor is what it was, where he was talking about how he did his first little rental property and it was a single family. And he said when he did that, or, he wasn't thinking billionaire Grant Cardone and I own like billions of dollars of real estate and I own tens of thousands of units and doors and all of that. I was just like, hey, I turned $3,000 into $300 a month. That's a good little come up. And so that's why I like to make that this distinguishment there, because I think people talk about one or the other, but you got to know to get started, it's one mindset. But when you really want to get off into it and change gears and go hard and get consistent, it's going to be a shift in mindset. So expect that. But focus now in the beginning on getting started, getting that first deal, getting your foot in the door, proof of concept, getting knocked down, that's out the way. And now you really realize, like, okay, not only is it possible, but I already done it. Now let's like put the money where it needs to be and like jump over those hurdles to figure out how do I repeat this and how do I keep going, and then where can I take it. But like, you don't got to bite the whole thing, you don't got to bite the whole pizza at once, cut it up in slices. But the mindset to get started is one thing, but then after that is thinking big. And then another thing I think was, and we talked about this last night, was the shift to stay consistent. Was it's just like connecting mentally my input with my output, what I put into it or what I get out of it.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's just like when you start, and a lot of people start off with a 9 to 5, and maybe you're doing this on the side. But if you get some deals and you get some, start to get you some momentum going. At some point, it's just like, I need to be, and I think for you, you talk about this a lot. It's like, I need to be putting more time into this than I'm putting in anywhere else, because what I realize is the more consistent I am, the more I get out of this. Or the more, then you start to realize the more I put into this, the more I get out of it. So
Yeah.
then it becomes a no brainer. And I think that that's a mindset shift that a lot of people um, end up making when they don't realize that going into it. It's just like, you're going to make that shift where you realize it, um, especially to do deals consistently. It's like, well, if I cold call for 4 hours today, 1 hour tomorrow, none the next day, and then 3 hours the following day, and then one the next day, it's just like, you can't expect consistent results. But if
Yeah.
I'm gonna do 4 hours a day every single day and figure out a way to do that, then you're gonna realize, oh wow, I'm getting consistent results. And then you're gonna be like, okay, so it's just about what I put into it is what I get out of it. So if you're a wholesaler and you watching this and you ain't trying to figure out how to do your first deal, but you're trying to figure out, man, how do I do deals consistently? How do I consistently do deals? It's like, well, look at what you inputting, look at your marketing. Are you consistently cold calling? Are you consistently sending out X amount of text messages per day? Are you
Yeah.
consistently putting up bandit signs? Are you consistently, and then make that connection to what you get into it. What you get out of it is what you put into it.
Exactly, man. And just setting that up, automating that. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like you ain't thinking about, oh man, I gotta think about how many people on call today. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like if you automate it, you know exactly what's gonna happen that next day. You know what I'm saying? And it's like at the beginning, it's like you gonna do it. So it's like you got to do it whether you feel good, whether you don't feel good. Like I was sending the messages out no matter what, whether I
Yeah.
feel good, don't feel good, busy, not busy, on vacation, wherever I'm at, it's going out, it's going down every time. It's like it doesn't matter what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So like that kind of mindset of making sure the same thing happens every day, right? Is a big one, you know. So, but shoot, man, we've been on here 47 minutes, man. We're finna let Cordero get his last thoughts out. I'm gonna give y'all some last thoughts, man. But if you haven't already joined the Discord group, link right over here on the side. If you got questions, leave them below. We'll try to answer those when we go back live again tomorrow. And shoot, man, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, man. We here every day of the week. Give y'all a live, man. Answer any questions y'all got with this wholesale thing, man. We out here doing deals for real deals, and we'll come on here and talk about them, break them down throughout the week. So, Cordero, go ahead and let them know what's your last thoughts on this motivational Monday, man.
Listen, first thing, wake up. Many Men, 50 Cent. Listen to that. All right. Because
What is it?
listen to Many Men by Many Men.
Oh yeah.
Listen to that. That's all you got to listen to. And then your wholesale game going to shoot up through the roof. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding. But I say my last thoughts is, man, the biggest thing, get rid of doubt. And the second thing is back to what Frank said, is like that fight analogy. Is like, first of all, it's gonna be a fight. But
Won't be a dog fight.
it's gonna be a dog fight. But if you ever been into a fight, you wasn't like, man, I know exactly what's exactly gonna happen. Exactly. It don't. It's like, dog, have the confidence in yourself to figure it out and realize once you get to that point. And I'm talking to the people who haven't done a deal, who are just watching videos and trying to like, I'm trying to do a deal. When you get to that point and you're telling yourself, okay, whatever, I'm committed, whether it's confidence in yourself or, again, whether your back is up against the wall, I'm committed. I'm going to figure it out as I go. Once you're there, that's when your next deal is right around the corner. Your first deal is right around the corner. So just get in tune with that mindset of, I don't have to have it all figured out. And to this day, we don't still have it all figured out.
No.
So like, don't ever think that you get to a place where it's just like, we have it all figured out. It doesn't happen like that. And so just have confidence in yourself. Definitely run off your own energy and fuel yourself. Mindset Mondays, man.
There we go, man. Appreciate the final thoughts, Cordero, man. And appreciate y'all coming through, man. Tomorrow we'll be back. Like I said, if you watching this on the replay, leave the comments below. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to hear. We're going to jump on here tomorrow and do some stuff for y'all, man. Probably jump on some phone calls, talk to some people. and man, let y'all see how we get down, man. So, but shoot, all right, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. Peace out.